Hey YouTube friends! As part of the ongoing optimization of my new workshop, the latest project that I've been busy with is building out this new miter saw station. This setup allows me to cut up to 10 feet on either side of the blade because of levelness on my workbench over there, and also because of the extension slide out that I can use over there. Similar to my last video where I organized my battery tools on a tool wall using the French cleat system, this miter saw also enhances my workflow because I can store most of my fest tools on a drawer slide out system. This eliminates the need to stack and unstack the boxes, which makes them easily accessible. Additionally, I've integrated some storage. Here's my MFT table in the back, and also some winter tires that I keep in my garage. But the best part of it all was that I built this whole miter saw station using only 2 sheets of plywood. Let's get to the video so I can show you how it's done, and maybe you can apply it on your projects.
As usual, the first step I like to start with is trimming the factory edge of the plywood to get a consistent and square edge. Once that's done, I set up my parallel guides to 5 inches and start cutting them into strips. The reason I cut them into strips is to maximize my efficiency so that I can build it with only 2 sheets of plywood. Allow me to explain. Before I started any cutting, I actually made a model of it on AutoCAD. In this model you can see there are 3 types of cuts. There will be a center top for the miter saw, 2 of the side extension wings will be for the extension wings essentially, and the rest of it is the bottom and all the other supporting pillars, which are made out of the 5-inch strips cut into different lengths. This design is what makes it possible to use only 2 sheets of plywood. A valid question you may be asking yourself right now is it structurally safe? And my answer, absolutely. It's made out of 3/4 inch plywood and the joints are a combination of pocket holes and dominoes. Once I cut enough 5-inch strips, I then move on to cross-cutting them to a different length that I came up with through the design. And doing that cannot be any easier with this setup. Accuracy with a flag stop for repeatable cuts and a great dust collection system. Once all the crosscuts are completed, I then make sure to label all the pieces with their lengths so that I don't mix them up during the assembly. Now, it's time to assemble the base that will be the bottom of the extension wing cabinets, which is also where I'll be storing the slide out sustainers, so I'm just measuring where the interior pillars will be positioned. Once that's figured out, I make some marks, take the domino out, and get to work with drilling the mortises. As I mentioned earlier, I will also be using dominoes in conjunction with pocket holes, so I get the Kreg jig out and start drilling some holes. With the drilling out of the way, I then move on to the glue up, and I'm using 8x50 dominoes, which are quite good for structural assembly on this 3/4 inch plywood. Now, those who pay attention will have noticed the thinner stock that I'm using for the interior support. And I know I said everything would be 5 inches, but these two are just the 2.5 inches because I split the 5-inch stock into 2. So kind of goes along with the maximum efficiency, which is a side goal of this project, aside from building an organized miter saw setup. Now, throughout my videos, you'll see me using the domino, and I really like using it for the cabinets, but I still like using pocket holes in conjunction with it because the pocket holes act like a clamp, allowing the glue to set in properly between the wood. Here I'm doing the assembly for the interior pillar using the same method as before. I like to make sure that it's square, add some clamps on it, and then move on to assemble the rest of the exterior pillars. Once all the sections are ready, I clamp them next to each other and make some marks that will be used to drill the domino holes. The dominoes and glue are more than enough to hold this together, but since I'll be moving it around my shop before the glue dries, I'm gonna put in some screws. It's a shop project, so it's all good. Here I'm marking up the outline for the inner pillars. I didn't mention it earlier, but I'm using the width of a sustainer, 2 drawer slides, and about 10mm extra margin to come up with the distance between the pillars. This cutscene here shows the gap which creates the storage space that I use for my winter tires and MFT. With all the pillars and base connected, now I can move on to make the tops for the extension wings. So this is how the main cabinets are made, and now I can move on to making the drawers. And for that, I'm using the size of a sustainer with a little bit of margins added to kind of accommodate that. And doing this on the Capex couldn't be any easier, again, because of that repeatable cut and great accuracy that it provides. So now I'm in the process of making a template for the feet that go on the bottom of the sustainer, so that my drawer slides, so that the sustainers on the drawer slide will be nice and put. So this feet, I'm just kind of laying out some marks, and then I will cut these out, use them as a template to put on the actual drawer slides that go over there. So once I drew my outlines, I cut those so I can make a template for a router. And here's a test piece. And boom, there you go. Nicely seated. So if I pick it up, you can see inside that the tabs are there. With the templates proving successful, I then route out sustainer feet tabs onto the actual drawers. This way the sustainers won't slide around as I push and pull on them. Once all the drawers are ready, I then drill pilot holes using the 32mm spacing system. This way it will be very easy to adjust the drawers and keep them all level. Figuring out the height to mount the drawers took some time, as I have to decide which sustainers go into each column, but it wasn't too hard to decide as most of Festool's work together, so it's kinda easy to organize them. Once I figured out where everything goes, I moved the cabinets away and did a cleanup before the final installation. So you can see I've made the extension rings level with this workbench here. It's all nice and on the same plane, and also the same with my workbench here on this side. It's all on the same plane so that I can eventually, if I need to do something large, if I need to connect something, part of it can rest on the extension wing, part of it on the workbench, right? So for the extra long stuff that I have to do some once in a while. And realized this would make a great winter tire storage. So I put some padding in there because I don't want the tires to get a flat spot. Once that's done, I can just, let's do it. And there we go. Great storage. I can put my winter tires in there, or my summer tires. My winter tires are already on, but I could put my other set of tires here. Yeah, just like that. Storage for winter tires. So I think this is pretty good way of doing it. Still a garage, right? So having the winter tires there makes sense. And then the miter station right here. Beautiful.